Just heading off to Minneapolis, Minnesota. Got to the airport super early this morning, killed some time. Now we're ready to rock.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions. We'll get away, this is what we will.
Made it here to downtown Minneapolis. Just checked in at our hotel downtown Hilton. Now we're out combing the streets, checking out what we got here before the conference gets rolling this week. Try to see the sights and scenes and check out some of the hidden gems here in Minneapolis.
With my own doubts, be free with me. Let's be free with
Get hooked up here with our boy Craig Karras here. You're gonna hit him up on Instagram. Pop the tag.
Mogul Masher 21.
And then, yeah, we're just super excited here to get moving. We're gonna go check in with some of the local spots. Craig's a local boy here, Minnesota born and raised, or Minnesota nice as he likes to say.
It's nice that we don't have 18 inches of snow like last weekend. Brought the sunshine from Colorado.
And what do we got here, roughly 60 degrees?
60 degrees today, no mosquitoes.
Feels like 90.
It's great.
So, just ready to hit the town and see everybody when they arrive here tomorrow. Just here with my boy Craig. We're here at NASC in Minneapolis. We're selling a couple new events. You know, what are you most excited about, Craig, here at NASC? You know, what are we bringing to the table? Why don't you let everybody know what we're working on?
I'm excited for the opportunity. There's so many different CVBs and sports commissions represented that we definitely have a great opportunity to form some great partnerships.
You know, for me, the Yips Tour is really one that I'm super excited about. It's a totally off the board kind of product. It's going to really revolutionize the golfing space. Something that, you know, doesn't really exist out there. You know, everybody's kind of white pants, white gloves, taking the time, playing by the rules, etiquette, all that fun stuff. We're going to throw all that out the window and really just, you know, kind of open up the space. You know, bring in shovels, bats, all that fun stuff. Have a little bit of fun on that golf course, play some music, you know, just really bring that atmosphere back to the game of golf. Really only exists on the 16th hole of Scottsdale, right? Like, that's the only place you can really find that type of rowdy nature around the golf space. So really excited about that product. And then the exclusive, obviously, we're ready to kind of look at options for 2019, since we're already set for December of 2018 and, you know, March of 2019, where we're in Miami and San Diego. Really excited about those destinations. Those CVBs and sports commissions been on point so far, really bringing it all together. So we're here to, you know, finalize some details for that and then just expand for the future. So I know we're both excited. Let's get it going.
I don't know if Alima asked you, but how's like the speed dating part? How, is that kind of awkward, or is that?
No, it's good. I mean,
Okay.
the big thing is, like, we sit at the table and you guys run around, right? But the big thing from our side is that you get into a groove and you just keep spitting what you've been spitting, right?
Gotcha.
And then the ones that are interested usually tangent a little bit because they might have a unique situation, right? That's generally what happens. But
Okay.
I wouldn't say they're awkward.
Okay.
I would say there's some situations where they're bad fits.
Okay.
And I think if they're bad fits, then you just say, you know what, this is going to work. I'm going to go get a drink.
So you guys stay stationary and we move around?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, that's good.
I'm used to moving around. Oh, great. That's good. Conferences like the NASC Symposium are great for networking. I mean, the whole purpose of the conference space is to network. So when we head out to events like that, we really try to make sure we're engaging the community in a way that best suits our business. And ultimately, when networking, we try to stick to the patterns that make us who we are. Because ultimately, if we're selling something that we're not, that's just destined for a short-term relationship. So the big thing that we push on our team really is to be who you are, because ultimately that's the best way to win business, is to really attract the customer base that is what it best suits your personality and then ultimately your business, because the goals and the culture of your business should align with the same goals, and then ultimately the customers that are the best fit for your team should meet those same standards. So we really try to do that when we're out networking with our community, is really just try to find those true standards that fit for both sides of the coin, because like I said, it's super important in the long term that we are all on the same page. Some of our longest standing customers really fit that mold because they see the value that we see as well. There's more than one consumer in our space, and ultimately that allows for different opportunities to create different models, and different models fit certain customers a certain way, and that's ultimately what our job is to portray those models to each customer in the way that it best suits them. But there's also a couple that don't fit into our target market, and that's okay. They're allowed to operate their business in their way, and there's just some customers that aren't a good fit, and likewise, we're not a good fit for them either. So ultimately, that networking piece becomes so important that you have to get out there and really get to know the customer that you're trying to chase down, because if you don't, you're going to end up just wasting your time and theirs trying to find the right fit. Recently sat through a presentation on communication and marketing, and it really talked about finding those actionable relationships. And that's really the big thing when you're networking, is finding those people that can be actionable. Because ultimately, if you're at a conference and you're just banging down all the doors, two things can happen. One, you can get lucky and land a customer, or you can bother them and lose a customer forever. So you really have to find the timing, find the actionable relationship that allows you to nurture a potential lead into a customer. And that's really where the networking skill set comes into play, because you have to understand how to get from point A to point B. And very rarely do you find that symbiotic relationship from day one. It just doesn't work that way. I mean, you can dream it up, and there's gurus everywhere that say sales in 5 minutes and sales models in 20 minutes, but the reality is those work few and far between. And if you're a salesperson and you're out there just following a structured sales approach, you're not going to have much success. I mean, there's some benefits to following some patterns, and that should align with your core customer. But if you're going in with the same pitch to every customer, you're going to have some real troubles, because ultimately everybody is different. And that's really where we want to make sure in a networking space we're trying to separate ourselves. For those of us that have read the Blue Ocean Strategy, it talks about really setting yourself apart. Instead of competing in an oversaturated space, find a way to be different. Find a way to compete in a space that no one else is fighting for. And when it comes to networking, that's the same thing. Everybody's going to go for the big fish, right? And the big fish is going to get approached by everybody. So you have to understand that timing and networking is vital to track down those types of clients. And it takes time to really reel those fish in. But, if you're too forward and you're too gung-ho, you're going to lose that sale on day one. And ultimately, that's networking.
Well, Greg, it's been a pretty interesting week here in Minneapolis at NASC, the networking conference that is one of our favorites with the kind of the designation towards education and membership based of the sports commissions from around the country. What was your takeaway this week now that we've been here in Minnesota?
It's great. It's great to be back here at NASC, see the different relationships and renew them with the people that we've been around. It's a great opportunity for us to network with tons of different destinations across the United States. A lot of cities that didn't even fall onto our radar that really are on our radar now because of the way it is for the Yips Tour and our exclusive event.
Yeah, and I know we're really excited about both. One's a little more serious, and the other one's a little bit more low key and kind of out there a little bit. So we're really excited about what we're working on, and just always about building friendships and partnerships, and that's really what this event brings to the table. And there's other ones out there, but this is certainly one of our favorites. And I mean, being in your hometown, we're pretty excited to be here. My first time to Minneapolis. And I certainly enjoyed it. So quick shout out to Sports Minneapolis for putting on a great show. I know everyone's going to walk away from this one pretty excited with where we're going as an industry, and I know that the city was well represented while we were here. So I know our next one on the networking trail is a couple months away, but that's an exciting one as well too, and we hope to see more people get involved with these events because that is how we grow, through sharing and networking and partnership. So I know we had lots of those conversations this week, and we'll have a lot more following up from this event here in Minneapolis.